But let's move on to the big cup final game that is on Saturday.
Chelsea.
Yeah, this is going to be a very, very different game at the Amex. Probably one of the most anticipated games since we got promoted and played Palace for the first time, I'd say. It's probably up there with that. Chelsea at home, Graham Potter, Bruno, Cucurella, all coming back to the team.
Huge game.
The heart's in the throat thinking about it, mate. The heart's in the throat thinking about it. But let's ask some questions then, boys. What are we thinking? Start with you, Maz.
Potter's unbeaten, isn't he, with Chelsea? He hasn't lost yet. He's had a couple of draws, but mostly wins. It's, I don't know, it's a tough one. I thought, do you know what? It's the kind of game that we'll go and we'll win. Like, it's one of those games that's what I'm getting the feeling.
I hope you're right.
At the same time, they are playing well. He has got them doing well. He's got players like Mason Mount playing really well.
Cucurella getting dragged after 30 minutes.
Yeah,
you'd love to see it.
Yeah, that was fair play to him though. I actually saw that more of a sign of like fair play. Like he's like, so this is the difference, right? Let's just, and I hate comparing the two, but what Zerbi did at Spurs. Do you remember when he goes? I admit he goes for the first 15 minutes. I got it wrong. Do you remember he said that, and he did make a change because for whatever reason he didn't do it. Whereas Potter went, I've made a mistake, and he made a change. So obviously it's still very early days, and I fully back the Zerbi. But what I would love to see is the same sort of acknowledgement. It's like, right, I didn't get the system right. Let's change it. Maybe not as early as 15 minutes or half an hour.
35.
But even like maybe at half time, maybe like make a change, because I know. We always had with Potter, he didn't make changes to like 70th, 80th minute, which sort of frustrated
me. To be fair to De Zerbi, actually, Maz, on that, I mean, against City, he brought on Lamptey and made the difference second half. I think that, that was actually quite good to see a half-time sub come on. When I saw Lamptey, I was like, oh, wow, we've actually made a half-time sub. And I was quite happy with that. Hopefully, I do agree with you, like, making those bold decisions are needed in a manager. But I must admit, like, I'll say a bit on Potter, because although I've been watching Chelsea's games quite closely for obvious reasons, right? I want to see how he does naturally, right? It's what you do. And I must admit, the last few games they haven't been particularly great. They've sort of been quite lucky a lot of the time. Against Villa, they were very lucky. They were very lucky that Kepa was in the form of his life. And in the last game, who did they play against? Manchester United. Very lucky to get a result there. I mean, even a draw flattered them, to be honest with you. And even though Man United were the ones that fought back.
They drew 0-0 Brentford as well.
Brentford as well, unlucky to probably could have lost that game as well, to be fair. So there's 3 games there which probably should have lost. So, Potter isn't exactly high flying, maybe like his stats suggest he is.
The start of his reign was obviously really good, but
he had a bit of a honeymoon period, didn't he?
Last 3 games you've been a bit questionable, albeit they've got 6 clean sheets in 7 games, which is it's got the defence very good.
And also,
to Barley and to
he did rotate fully, I think, against Brentford. So obviously, last game Man United, and the game before was Brentford, and he done a full rotation. As in, I think he literally swapped like 11 players out, and he still got a 0-0 draw against Brentford, which probably isn't great for them, but. Because he obviously
another point on the road, isn't it?
Exactly, and then Man United, 93rd minute equaliser to Casemiro. So I agree with you guys. I think it's definitely an opportunity. They don't come into this game like absolutely flying.
I don't think they will.
Firing all cylinders. They're definitely coming in a bit subpar, which we can take advantage of. It's just, where are the goals coming from? That's my only worry now. Like, I know we've scored. It's not like we've not been scoring, but also we haven't been scoring as freely as we'd probably like. So it's just like, how do we, and especially against their defence, like you said, Ben, 6 clean sheets out of 7, which is outrageous. How do we score a goal against that defense?
Yeah,
it's got to be Trossard. I can only see it being Trossard.
Or
Alexis McAllister.
Welbeck's going to score an overhead. That's what I'm saying.
Mate, please inject it into my veins, mate.
Yeah, that's a remake against Chelsea. Remember.
I want to eat my words. That's what I want Danny Welbeck to do. I want Danny Welbeck to make me eat my words. Like, I've been slagging him off. I've been slagging him off saying he doesn't score enough goals. Please shut me up.
Reload the Stamford Bridge limbs of that last minute header. Reload that.
I want to eat as much humble pie as you can give me. Please, Danny Welbeck.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I want a performance here. And I think from what rumours I've seen around and things like that is the players are very up for this one. And I think it will be very interesting to see, because obviously fans are going to have their own opinions. I think players also have their own opinions, which I don't know. But from what I've seen around and things like that, I don't reckon the players are completely happy about it. I think the Lallana thing before the Brentford game, it was clear to see he wasn't very happy, and I think it's going to be interesting. To see how we do fight at this, because it is like a cup final, right? We're going into this game, we want to win this game.
I'm actually so excited for it, but also shitting at the same time. Every time I think about it.
Yeah, I'm actually buzzing for it.
Like, imagine, do you know what would be? Oh, it's so good. Just picture it. De Zerbi at the end of the game, we've just won 2-1, and De Zerbi just goes and shakes his hand, just like
smug look on his face. Yeah.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
What we need to do is get a nice fresh trim. Deserve come with his, and then turn his glow up, come with a roll neck, do his beard up.
Oh, that'd be class. Inject it all.
Yeah, needs to come with like some like really fancy rings and jewellery. He needs to really do himself up for it.
Just like some Italian mafias, like come out in suits and all that lot.
We come out to the Godfather music. That'd be amazing.
Mate, I'm genuinely looking forward to it. But I'm going to ask the dreaded question now. Score predictions for Brighton against Chelsea on Saturday. Ben, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go and say 1-0 Brighton. I love it and I think
Come on!
I love it.
I will love it and I think I deserve it.
I think I deserve it.
And Maz?
I'm also going to go Brighton win. I'm going to stay confident. I'm going to go 2-1 Brighton.
Getting excited now. I'm getting excited now.
I'm going to go 2-1 Brighton.
Do you know what? I'm going to agree with you both, but I'm going to say 2-0. They're not going to score.
By the way, can I just... Sorry, it just hit me. All three of us are predicting a win against Chelsea. Can we just do that? Like, it's just a bit mad, isn't it? Like, Brighton...
I think we're trying to, like... give positivity to universe, manifest. I think
it's manifesting, and it's also coping mechanisms.
And delusion.
I'm looking forward to this. I really am. I think that, as we say before, the performance we're putting against City is enough to warrant thinking we could win this game. We look good. The team's up for it. I think they're finally playing for him. They're looking like they want it. I think McAllister, etc. They're looking good. Lamptey, I want to get a start. March is playing well. Trossard's playing well.
And just quickly as well, I don't know if we mentioned it. I don't know if you guys mentioned it last time out, but also we've got to remember, De Zerbi's had a tough start. Like, we played some really big teams: Man City, Liverpool, Spurs. Now going into Chelsea, like it's a really tough run, and we've got to remember that. And I think a lot of people are forgetting. It's like, he hasn't won in X amount of games. It's like, because we played really good teams.
Mate, I would go as far to say De Zerbi's had probably one of the toughest jobs of a Premier League manager. I think he's got probably the toughest job coming here than anyone in the Premier League. I think that it's one of the hardest jobs because, as I said before, he's taken a real high onto a real low, and then he's got to rebuild. That's tough, to come in with the expectation. I think he's really dealt with it well, and he's slowly starting to improve. Obviously the language barrier as well must be tough. He's had a very tough run of games. He's getting used to the English culture as well, which is completely different to Italy. So it's probably a big shock to the system for him too. So I'd say
it's gone from some lovely Italian cafes and patisseries to
some brilliant coffee to
shoes. So it's gone from patisseries of Italy to shoes. So it must be a tough one.
But yes, anyway, I think that's about it, guys. Unless you want to add anything else, I think we're all good.
No,
I think that's it, mate.